Hi everybody. So I'm here today with a story and our next picture challenge. So be sure to listen at the end of my story and I'll give you the directions on what the next challenge is going to be. So today's book is called Caps for Sale. Now you know another word for cap is hat. And that's what this is about. This is about a peddler who goes around selling caps. That's how he makes his money. A peddler is a person who sells things. Sometimes they carry them on their back, sometimes they set up a little cart. And in this case, our peddler puts the caps on his head. That's how he sells them. Let's watch. It's called Caps for Sale. And there he is. Look at all those caps. That's the peddler. And there's his caps. Once there was a peddler who sold caps. But he wasn't like an ordinary peddler carrying his wares on his back. He carried them on top of his head. First, he had on his own checked cap, then a bunch of gray caps, then a bunch of brown caps, then a bunch of blue caps, and on the very top, a bunch of red caps. He walked up and down the streets, holding himself very straight as to not upset his caps. As he went along, he called, "Caps! Caps for sale! 50 cents a cap!" One morning, he couldn't sell any caps. He walked up the street and he walked down the street calling, "Caps! Caps for sale! 50 cents a cap!" But nobody wanted any caps that morning. Nobody wanted even a red one. He began to feel hungry, but he had no money for lunch. I think I'll go for a walk in the country," he said. And he walked out of town slowly, slowly, as to not upset his caps. He walked for a long time until he came to a great big tree. That's a nice place for a rest, thought he. And he sat down very slowly under the tree and leaned back little by little against the tree trunk so as not to disturb the caps on his head. Then he put his hand up to feel if they were straight. First his own checked cap, then the gray caps, then the brown caps, then the blue caps, then the red caps on the very top. They were all there. So he went to sleep. He slept for a long time. And when he woke up, he was refreshed and rested. But before standing up, he felt with his hand to make sure his caps were in the right place, and all he felt was his own checked cap. He looked to the right of him, no caps. He looked to the left of him, no caps. He looked in back of him, no caps. He even looked behind the tree. No caps. Then he looked up in the tree. And what do you think he saw? On every branch a monkey. On every monkey a gray cap, a brown cap, a blue cap, or a red cap. The peddler looked up at the monkeys. The monkeys looked down at the peddler. He didn't know what to do. Finally, he spoke to them. You monkeys, you, he said, shaking a finger at them. You give me back my caps. But the monkeys only copied him. They copied him and shook their finger back at him and said, tss, tss, tss. This made the peddler angry. So he shook both hands. And he shook his hands at them and said, You monkeys, you give me back my caps. But the monkeys only copied him again, and they shook both their hands and said, Tss, tss, tss. Monkeys like to copy. Now he felt quite angry. He stamped his foot and he said, You monkeys, you better give me back my caps. So what do you think the monkeys did? They copied him. The monkeys only stamped their feet and said, Tss, tss, tss. Oh, by this time, the peddler was really very, very angry. He stomped both his feet and shouted, You monkeys, you must give me back my caps. You're right, the monkeys copied again. The monkeys only stomped both their feet and said, Tss, tss, tss. Oh, at last, he became so angry that he pulled off his own checked cap, threw it on the ground, and turned and walked away. What do you think the monkeys did? And then each monkey pulled off his cap, and all the gray caps, and all the brown caps, and all the blue caps, and all the red caps came flying down out of the tree. They copied them again. So the peddler picked up his caps and he put them back on his head. First, his own checked cap, then all the gray caps, then all the brown caps, then all the blue caps, then the red caps on the very top. And slowly, slowly, he walked back into town calling, Caps! Caps for sale! 50 cents a cap! The end. So boys and girls, today's picture challenge is, we want to see a picture of you that kind of looks like the peddler with all the caps on his head. So I want you to go around your house, try to find as many hats as you can, as many caps as you can, and try to balance them on the top of your head. Now you could put them in a pattern, you could put all the colors together, you can put it any way you want on top of your head, but be very careful not to drop them off. You got to keep good balance. So after you get them all on your head, have Mom and Dad take a picture and send it into Mrs. Fontenot. I'm going to go now and try to collect some hats in my house, and I'll see how high I can go with my caps. And I'm going to send it to Mrs. Fontenot too, so she can put it on our classroom page. Oh, and one more thing. After you're all done with the hats, after your mom or dad take a picture, make sure you put those caps back where you found them. See ya.